Bad response.
So So we can truly do a cannot ventilate scenario with the instructor saying nothing. And then the student has to go through a progression of critical thinking to correct it and say, oh, we're not ventilating this patient. And really cool thing about these guys is they're tied to physiology. So let's say a student gives the wrong medication or gives the wrong dose. I hit, oh, he gave 1,000 milligrams of that. And he'll react. This is what runs them off the MacBook. And this, when I was telling you about lung volumes, you'll see there's a little graph right here. It talks about lung volume. So one of the things we've noticed with our students, especially the male students with large hands, they'll overventilate. And we can monitor how much tidal volume they're giving with each breath with the bag valve mask. And if they're overventilating, which of course has a lot of bad consequences, we can monitor it right through the MacBook. The old way of learning was you would stand here and say, I am now doing such and such. You're sort of standing here statically. Now you have to direct, hey, start the IV. Go ahead and ventilate the patients. I want 12 to 20 breaths per minute. You know, all those things. You have to coordinate the whole call, and you have to do it. You have to have your hands on the patient. This was 5 or 6 years in the works. And what we did is we looked at a lot of colleges, universities, community colleges, our friends next to us. We went to Villanova, Drexel, Johns Hopkins, a lot of places, and we had the luxury of combining all the best practices and all the best designs into this building. And the architects were wonderful, and they were receptive to everything we said, so we were able to create a facility that is really, I mean, just phenomenal. We're really love our space and what we're able to do with it. Well, we can take in the CRT program, which is the older EMT intermediate curriculum, we can take up to 25, and we take 20 for the National Registered Paramedic program. So we could have up to 45 total. Now, this year we won't have quite those numbers. I'm not sure what the final numbers are going to be, but that's our max. And then for EMT, we can take 20 per class also. EMS is Emergency Medical Services, and under that umbrella, you have in Maryland, you have 3 main levels. There's more, but I'll just stick to the main ones. And the entry level is really EMT. They're the ones on the ambulance that do a lot of the basic life support. They assist the patient with certain medications and certain advanced procedures they could use in AED. Very critical. It's the backbone of EMS to have the EMTs there. And for the first time, we're offering that program starting this fall semester. And it'll be a 1 semester, pretty intensive, but 1 semester long program. And we can take up to 20 students. Every volunteer fire company, they have to have EMTs. A lot of the paid firefighters have to also have EMT. Even if they're a firefighter and they don't ride the ambulance or the medic unit, they have to have the EMT certification. So there's a big need there for every volunteer company and every paid firefighter. But there's also a lot of paid positions in our 5 counties for EMTs. There's a lot of companies that, because of call volume, which has increased dramatically over the last 5 or 10 years, a lot of our even volunteer companies will have a paid EMT and maybe even a paid EMT with a paramedic during the day. Some of the county programs run a paramedic EMT crew. Queen Anne's County, for example, has that, and I believe Talbot also, where they have a paramedic and an EMT, several units throughout the whole county. Well, the EMS, I had to do some research for EMT program and our other programs, and the forecast is very good. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's forecasted to grow up, I believe it's in the 30% range up to 2020. So there's always a need for EMS providers. It's a growing need. All healthcare, there's a big need for, with our aging population and our growing population. So if you get into EMS, I mean, there's a good chance that you would have a pretty you can look at many places to get employed, whether it be federal government, local governments, things like that. So it's very good employment outlook. And some people get into EMS and they also use it as a stepping stone, or as they get older, and they'll use it as a stepping stone for PA school, nursing school. Several of our students are now physicians. Some of our graduates are physicians now. So that's another thing. It can be like, I really like this. I've done it for 5 or 10 years. Yeah. Now I want to think, well, what are my other options? With our new facility, we're using cutting edge technology, but what I think is important to know is it's easy to to have a piece of equipment or a new building, but it's what do you do with it. And my goal is to every year I want to make the classroom and the lab and the clinical to use all the latest techniques and to link all those different ways of learning to meet the students' needs so they can pass all the exams they have to pass, and more importantly, be a competent paramedic, be a competent EMT. So it's not just having the stuff, it is how you use it, how you link it all together, so when the student graduates, you know that that employer, that community is getting someone that is going to be a great EMT, a great paramedic, that the hiring organization doesn't need to do retraining or additional training because we've done our job here.